Whoever believes to be something has stopped becoming something. Ouch, that hurt. My classmate Conrad whispered it to me as he just walked by. Did he seriously quote Socrates just because I stick to my opinion? Or am I arrogant? Am I too proud? Days, weeks, and even today, 15 years later, this saying still sticks in my mind. I hate feedback. Feedback is a gift, they said. A gift I didn't ask for, and a gift that is ugly wrapped too. I hate getting feedback as a gift. Hi, my name is Mara, and to my own surprise, I made feedback my profession. In my early childhood, I received a lot of supportive feedback. I felt smart and confident until the day I started school, where they told me I was too messy, too lazy, too slow. In 10th class, the teacher called my parents. Moving on to the next level was at risk. No surprise! My marks were poor, and I was convinced I'm too stupid to graduate. After this year, I dropped out. I switched to a design school, and then something unexpected happened. I received positive feedback. I would be talented, hardworking, and even intelligent. I graduated with honors. Bam! Well, I don't think my IQ suddenly doubled. So the only thing that changed dramatically was the feedback. Feedback has an impact. And today I'm standing here, powered by feedback, of course, with an idea that caught my full attention. What if we used feedback for something important? You know, like the survival of humanity or something? Yes, I'm talking about climate change. And honestly, I have little hope. The facts in science are absolutely clear. We know the causes, we know the measures, we know the rough time frame, we know the consequences. And we do, let me look it up, nothing. Nice. Science is getting louder and louder, but facing people with facts is like throwing keys at a door and expecting it to open. And I've tried so many things to unlock this mental barrier. I've given emotional presentations and relatable arguments. I inspired people to dream or tried to make science sexy. I even founded a climate collective for this purpose. But nothing has worked, and I hated myself for not making a difference. I want to save the world with climate communication. Ha ha ha. I can't even convince my closest circle to switch to oat milk. But one day I realized that I used to be on the other side of the discussion as well. Wait, I wasn't born a climate activist? Nope. In fact, I was shaped by feedback. And if feedback has changed my mind, then it can do the same for others. But the question is how? How to feedback for future? There are thousands of ugly climate discussions out there. But basically they always address the same key issues. It's about individual change, system change, and social change. So let's see how to tackle them. A well-known buzzword for the individual change is the carbon footprint. In Germany we say footprint because there's Granny's legendary Sunday roast, barbecue with beer and bratwurst, festival ravioli from a can, of course. Food is part of our history and identity. Therefore, criticism is always to be taken personally. Let them eat grass and leaves. Bacon is my salad, you silly soy boy. I guess it's fear of loss hidden behind rage. At the same time, vegans go crazy because they realize the extreme suffering behind it. They despair that we literally eat our future for breakfast. Meat is murder! You're all climate killers. Foolish Hans Wurst. At the family table, as on social media, the debate between Soy Boy and Hans Wurst is highly emotional. I've often jumped between these fronts, so I know how to unleash both a family fight and a shitstorm. But the big loser in this blame game is the climate. A plant-based diet is actually one of the biggest individual drivers of change, so there must be a way to feedback without judging each other. As a young designer, I had a great training ground. Let me tell you, designers identify with their work just like Germans with sausage. Every piece of feedback is a personal attack. As a little extra challenge, I had a boss who turned every little correction into toxic blame. That looks like shit. Thanks. You too. And this was not very helpful feedback. But there's another way. I've experienced this when working with skilled creative directors. It's a combination of nonviolent communication and constructive feedback. How does it work? It may sound weird, but I simply accept that the other person is a human being with valid needs. I try to differentiate between the person and their behavior, and I focus on the issue and objective criteria. Shaming others does not improve the outcome, but objectivity does. Let's move on to system change. And the system I'm talking about is mobility. Dear cars, your time is up. Goodbye road rage. After all, a bicycle has much fewer emissions. No shit, Sherlock? Yeah. It's not that easy to argue. I lived in the city for 15 years, and there you can do everything by bike and public transport. And cars, they're just clumsy obstacles, smelly polluters, their drivers are lazy as hell. My discussions maybe were a bit one-sided. What can I say? I now live in a small village, and I feel the other side. Just ride a bike. Yeah, but the bike lanes are death traps between SUVs and trucks if there are any at all. Buy an electric car. They're expensive and there are no charging stations in the middle of nowhere. Take the train. What train? And the bus, yeah. Timetables in the village are like fairy tales. Lies printed on paper. For the first time in my life, I'm seriously considering getting a driver's license. And I've learned that you can't give universal advice from your own perspective. Stop blaming others for the system they live in. It's just egocentric. As a leader, I had to learn this lesson many times too. In the beginning, I thought a boss had to be like the center of the corporate universe, all-knowing, a tough decision maker who evaluates everyone. But who am I to judge others? I'm still a complete rookie myself. Two approaches radically changed my perspective. The principles of the servant leadership and the methods of solution-focused coaching. What a relief. I don't have to know better, I just can listen. I don't have to evaluate everyone. Most people know their own skills. And I don't have to decide on my own. I can simply ask questions. Whether you want to change a team or company or any other system, feedback must include different realities. Then we can achieve systems that work for everyone. As systems shift, so must society. What a pity that our brain makes us an innovation bottleneck. And that brings us to a mental cage called capitalism. Unlimited growth on a planet with limited resources, a logic that is doomed to fail. But somehow we struggle to come up with alternatives. As Mark Fisher once wrote, it's easier to imagine the end of the world than to imagine the end of capitalism. Anyone who tries to break free hits a brick wall of beliefs. Any idea is dismissed as a castle in the air. A company that belongs to itself, how silly! Innovation without quick profit, naive. Capitalism is like a narcissistic parent. Even if it hurts us, we still defend its rules. This conservative thinking is based on evolution. It was just super dangerous to be the first to do anything, like petting a bear, for example. So we packed our fear into feedback. Don't do that, bro. It's dangerous, bro. That's how humanity survived, I guess. But sustainability is not a bear. The conservative thinking that was designed to save us might kill us all, because the climate is changing faster than our society. We stick to the past, and feedback is the superglue. Somehow it's the same effect in parenting. Through feedback, we pass on our rituals, our role models, our rules, on to the next generation, and to the next. And then to you. Now it's your turn. Do you want a child who blindly follows all the rules? Who learns to function in a bad world? I'd rather have a child that questions everything, including me. Every hug, every word, every gesture, every glance, feedback makes us who we are. And I find it so hard, so challenging to suppress all my intuitive reactions, to question my own assumptions. But what can I say? I have a toddler out there, and he's the ultimate feedback boss. So I had a lot of opportunities to practice. First, I swallow my intuitive answer. Breathe. Reflect. Where does this tiny voice in my head come from? Is it really helpful right now, and is it mine? Then let go. I know I don't know everything. I remain open-minded. It's okay to be sad. Boys cry too. One last time. Let's zoom out. Feedback makes us who we are. That's why it's so personal and judgmental. It shapes our egocentric view of the world. That's why it's so difficult to accept other perspectives. And it conserves past experiences. That's why it often fails to shape the future. Between impulse and reaction, there lies our power, your power, to break the mold. Remain objective, even if it's difficult. Include different realities and embrace new ideas with an open mind. And as a little extra challenge, when fascism rises and populism rules, silence is feedback too. Silence agrees. But bullshit needs feedback, loud and honest, so raise your voice. One last sentence to go home with. Feedback shapes people, people shape the world. If we want to change the world, we have to change our feedback first. So let's start sharing feedback for future.